Well, you better get your popcorn because this thing is getting interesting by the minute. So check this out. Twitter just announced through sources, as published by CNBC, that they will comply with the demand of Elon Musk to provide him with every single piece of information about every single tweet so he and his team can verify how much bots there are on the platform. And what's going on here? Why would they do that 24 hours after saying, hey, we're not giving you diddly squat, you got a deal, and we're going to enforce it, and you're going to pay us whatever it is you have to pay us? What changed their mind? Well, let me explain. There's a lot of confusion about what's going on with Twitter and Elon, and the drama kind of gets into this weird salad of facts, assumptions, and emotions. Now I'm going to explain exactly what's going on. So yesterday, there was a very famous tweet by Meet Kevin essentially saying, hey, Elon, he doesn't have to do the deal even if he waived his right for due diligence because, he can always rely on Rule 10b-5. Basically saying, well, they misled me about a material adverse effect and, I don't got to do the deal. And I actually made a video about it saying, well, material adverse effect is very, very hard to prove. In fact, in the past, there was just one case, where they actually approved it. And I actually showed that case. I think it was called Acorn. Doesn't matter. It's a very high threshold of proof. In that case, I believe it was like 50% EBITDA miscalculation. But here's the thing. If you actually look at what Elon Musk and his team did, they knew that material adverse effect is a very tough challenge to meet. So they were not going for that. If you go back and you look at the letter from Scott and Arps, which are the lawyers of Elon Musk, to Twitter just a few days ago, they were not claiming Rule 10.5-5 or 10b-5. They weren't claiming that there's a material adverse effect here. In fact, they were saying, hey, we're trying to get some basic information about your company, which are critical to our decision whether we want to do the deal or not, and you are not cooperating. So you are not negotiating or you're not facilitating the deal in a bona fide manner. You're trying to withhold information from us, which we should reasonably accept. And by that, you're breaching the contract. So, you better give us the information. Otherwise, we're going to terminate. Because one of the remedies of breaching a contract is termination. So Twitter at that point had to make a decision because they were faced with the possibility of basically some of the best lawyers in the country saying, hey, you didn't cooperate with us in the process to go from signing to closing. Hence, basically, we might terminate the deal and you may get nothing, not even the $1 billion in breakup fees. So at this point, Twitter had two choices. Number one, say, well, we have a deal and he waived due diligence and we can just sue him in the Delaware Chancery Court, right? And this is going to take years and years and lots of millions of dollars and the PR damage is insane. Or we can just give him the documents. Let him sift through it and whatever happens, happens. If we think that we don't have a severe bot problem beyond what we already stated in the filings, which is we think it's 5%, but it might be more. If he can figure out that we have like 60% bots, well, let him go to town. So I think what it implies, the fact that they gave him the documents, is actually that his leverage is working. You can actually say that this is a 1-0 if this was soccer to Elon, because they are calling his bluff, but he made them. He made them to call his bluff by going after the cooperation clause and not for the 10b-5 material adverse effect. So he didn't claim or accuse Twitter of having fake bots. Well, he did on social media, but he didn't for legal proceeding. In the legal sense of the word, he was saying, hey, you're not giving me the information I asked for. And now they just gave it to him. So now the ball is in his court. They called his bluff. He made him do it, by the way. And now he has to make a decision. At this point, Twitter just took away the layup. The layup would have been, hey, they're not cooperating, boom, breach, boom, 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 let's go, terminate it. Now, Elon has two options: to try and figure out what the amount of bots are and try to go for the material adverse effect, which is going to be a very high threshold to get, or he can basically say, well, this data is not enough for me, blah blah blah, I need more. He's going to try to basically try to ask for more stuff and demand more things to get Twitter to basically say no no no, so he can actually break away. What I think actually is going to happen here is that they took away his layup, which is, hey, they're not cooperating, they don't give me information. So his next play, if he's trying to get out of this deal, which I think he is by funding. At this point, his next best play, I don't think it's material adverse effect, is actually going and saying, hey, I couldn't raise the money. Sorry, I just don't have it. I mean, one of the conditions, the preconditions for the deal to close was for me to obtain the financing, and I have most of it, but I don't have enough of it. So we either do the deal for a discount or we don't do it. And in that case, they either agree to do it at the discount, which means that he is actually negotiating a better price, or they don't do it, they back out, and he cancels the deal. So the problem with this argument is going to be that this would have been a really cool argument if he didn't already show intent to cancel the deal. He's already shown that he's trying to get out of the deal, and it's obvious to everybody with half a brain that Twitter price drop, Tesla price drop. So now he's overpaying for Twitter even more. Now he has to sell even more Tesla stock to overpay even more for Twitter. He doesn't want to do that. That's the real story here. It's not about bots. So everybody knows that shit. Now, the real question now would be, what does he want to do with Twitter? At which price he's actually willing to buy it, or is it a complete no-no and he's basically saying, nope, I don't want Twitter and I'm out. I've checked out of this relationship. If that's the case, if he's basically saying to his lawyers, hey, I'm out, no matter what, just find me a way out, they're probably going to go down the route of saying, hey, not enough funding, here's the $1 billion breakup fee, see you later. This would be the cheapest way to get out of it completely. If he's actually still interested in buying Twitter for a cheaper price, I think what just happened right now allows them a window to do that, because they showed that they are not interested in going to court. By giving documents, they show Twitter that they are willing to compromise, negotiate, and they're trying to facilitate the deal. So now, if he comes in and he says, hey, I just don't have enough money, there's a good chance they can actually settle. Although there's a good probability that this deal actually goes to the Chancery Court and goes to full-on litigation. Whatever the case may be, you better prepare the popcorn, because with Elon, this thing is not gonna be boring. It's gonna be entertaining all the way through. I just feel bad for people who own Tesla shares right now, because this thing is not very healthy for Tesla stock in the short term. Long term it doesn't matter, but Tesla will feel the pain out of this, because it's obviously viewed as a distraction. And also, Twitter are being completely demolished throughout this whole process. I mean, Twitter wish they would never even met Elon Musk at this point, because they're being dragged through the mud right now. So, for us as bystanders, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Now, I hope this kind of clarifies what's actually happening behind the scenes, not just, the headlines in CNBC. Let me know below if you enjoy this video, if you agree with me, and if you disagree with me. Let me know that I'm an asshole or the best thing since sliced bread. I'll catch you in the comments.